What else was that guy arguing with you about with EPs?
Oh, how EPs don't exist anymore, and how with rap artists it doesn't make sense to put out an EP because they don't make enough money off it, and half the time if you put out an EP, all those songs are going to be out on your album anyway.
And mixtapes too.
Yep,
right?
mixtapes.
You're saying the mixtapes hurt the band
because they put out mixtapes, and then they just take like the most popular song or two and put it on the album.
Right.
But basically, it's like giving people a sneak peek at your album, which I guess if they're going to buy both, what's the difference?
Yeah.
I don't think EPs are dead. I mean, we've reviewed some great EPs. You had the Ed Guy EP.
Yep.
Which one did
King
you
of
do?
Fools.
King of Fools EP was great. Catatonia had the Longest Year EP from the last album. Yep. EPs are great because it's just kind of a small cross section, and it really depends. Now you're going to get me started on EPs, but it really depends what kind of EP it is. For instance, the King of Fools EP is stuff from other Ed Guy releases, or is it original to that EP?
No, it was original to that EP.
So you have that kind.
Yeah.
The Catatonia one is basically, it was a song from the album, a B-side, a couple remixes.
Right.
So you have the two different kinds. There's the new music, and then there's the kind where it's basically an extended single.
Yeah, like Rhapsody of Fire did that too. They did their EPs they were just like little continuations of their story to fit into the next album.
Yep.
But they didn't put those songs on that album.
Yeah, Swallow the Sun, The Plague of Butterflies, was 30 minutes on its own.
Right.
So rather than trying to fold that into an album, they give it its own EP, which I think that's valuable in that sense.
Yeah.
Because if Mastodon recorded a couple tracks that didn't quite fit on Crack the Sky, but they couldn't really use for The Hunter, a little EP in the middle is the perfect place to put them out.
Yeah.
I think there's value there that, maybe hip-hop artists don't have that. Maybe, country, you don't really see country EPs very often.
No.
But I think metal EPs it's kind of a good way to kind of show, here's what we've been working on.
Yeah.
Plus it holds your fans over if you're going to be 2 or 3 years between albums. Sometimes an EP is the easiest way to...
Yeah, that's true. And that's another thing, too, is that the metal bands, a lot of them put out an album. I feel like the average is almost like 2 years now for a lot of the bigger bands that are busy touring 1 year and then writing a new album the next, as opposed to hip-hop where, Drake does an album and then goes on tour does another album like 8 months.
Yeah, because he records it on the bus.
Yeah, plus they're doing mixtapes and putting out more and more as they go.
Well,
plus it's a little more convenient. They just kind of have to be in a booth.
Vocal booth,
yeah, right.
Well, who's was it Currency? Is that rapper that Kashif likes?
Yeah.
He has like 6 albums coming out in the next 12 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Now, to that point, Zakk Wylde, in like kind of the biggest parts of Black Label Society, was doing one like every 9 months or something for a while.
I was just gonna ask you who that was. Yeah.
And shit, man, the way he writes guitar riffs, he could probably write 5 albums in a week if he really sat down and really put his mind to it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that he used to put out.
It used to really impress me too, because he was putting out great album after great album after great album, and then Shot to Hell came out and kind of changed the flow of things. But well, interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you guys have had a metal album that you only like one song, a real metal album.
Yeah, let us know. I want to know if any of you guys have a metal album that you think there's only one good song that you like on it, because I'm really curious to check that out. I can't picture, I don't know, every album I've ever listened to, either I liked the whole thing or I didn't.
Yeah. Or maybe you liked one song at the start, but then by the time you put it in the next time, it was a different song.
Yeah.
We talked about this when we had our discussion, that was like back in podcast, number 2, about Nightwish with Chester, and how, when he first fired it up, he really liked The Poet and the Pendulum, and then it was The Islander was now his favorite. And so
now he was all over that album later.
Oh, he's all over it, all right. All over it like an underage girl. So, let us know what you think about that. So, a couple last things to mention here. Obviously, check out Light and Darkness Radio, our podcast up on there, Sundays and Wednesdays, and he'll also be playing some of the interviews that we have coming up, we have quite a few.
We do.
Right below this podcast, you'll find our awesome interview with
Blizzard at Sea.
Blizzard at Sea.
And actually, this is going to be a little bit different than our other interviews. The format anyways. You will actually be able to listen to this one.
Yep.
And you won't have to read paragraph by paragraph.
Yep, and that's actually kind of the trend we're going for now. We're getting more and more bands to commit to recording. Blizzard at Sea is actually our first.
Yep.
And the interview is great. The guys it's hilarious. We really want to thank them, John, Steve, and Jesse, for taking the time to answer our questions. It was everything we could have wanted. I mean,
absolutely.
And you know, when you listen to it, which I hope all of you do, you'll see the Andrew WK influence spreading far and wide, which is what led me to review his album "I Get Wet" on the site this past week, because you know, sometimes everyone just needs to party.
Yeah.
You know. But after Blizzard at Sea, we have Echo Terra.
Yep.
We have Brymere. We got a bunch coming back, so we're in this now. We are in this game.
Yeah, definitely check that out, and either stop by our site to listen to it, or like you said, Light and Darkness Radio.
They're gonna play it.
They'll be playing it too.
You can also check out our YouTube account if you just want to, listen to all our stuff without having to click around the site. Yep. We're on there. You can just search Sorrow Eternal, and we should all of our, including this one, 17 podcasts and assorted sundries along the way.
Mm-hmm. We even have a commercial. Which not many of you heard, but
probably none of you, if I had to guess. Maybe one day we'll unveil it upon the world.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of this podcast, who knows? You're gonna have to listen to the end to find out.
That's right.
But yeah, stop by, listen to all the podcasts, check everything else out. Make sure you check out the store. All the titles we review get added in there. Amazon MP3 format. Chimera this week, my friend. You reviewed that great new Chimera album.
That's right.
$6.99 on the Amazon store.
Wow.
So click the link there and buy that baby for $6.99.
Seriously, buy it. It's a great album.
It's actually on my list of stuff to listen to this weekend when I have some time.
Oh, good. It's a long list you got. I know.
Oh my God!
You must have bumped it up.
You see the stack there?
Yeah.
This consumes a lot of time, and you got to remember, we're doing this on top of working all the time. So.
And plus, I'm still trying to listen to older stuff that I like, or things that we already reviewed, and at the same time, we're trying to listen to new stuff so that we can review the new stuff.
Yeah, and, I have to spend every week trying to convince myself to just stop listening to Alcest. And just start listening to something new. Anything that I listen to right now is like a break from Alcest. I've been listening to that latest album so much. Fuck.
Yeah,
we're trying to get an interview with him. I think it's basically one guy, right? Who writes all stuff.
Yeah, it was 3, and then
trying to get an interview. Hopefully, that would be great, because that is a band we want you guys to check out.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we should do, Murmaider, is one of these days we should just record a list of all of these bands, kind of like a top 10 bands we want you to hear. So that way, if we have bands like a band like Alcest, who I give full credit to Murmaider, he kind of discovered them and passed it along to me. But bands like that we just hope everyone gets to hear.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
But yeah, if you want us to review your shit, feel free to send it to us at our email address, sorrowyeternalblog@gmail.com. We've got a bunch of submissions for that, which we've had to put on the pile as well.
That's right.
Some good, some not so good. But yeah, if you want us to review your stuff, full albums, EPs only, don't, not just the song. Doesn't do anybody any good.
Yeah, no singles.
Yeah, no singles, no mixtapes or anything like that. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on MySpace. We can be friends on MySpace.
That's right.
And follow us on Twitter especially. That's where we post all the new reviews. Twitter and Facebook get everything right away.
Yep.
And we thank you guys for listening once again. And ciao outside, motherfucker!